I would like to hear how you, because you guys asked Alex about and John about spinoffs, right? How did you guys decide to go from super established, I mean, iconic HBO series, and hey, let's take it to the big screen?
Well, I honestly didn't want to do the movie. I mean, for financial reasons, obviously I want to do it. And because I love these guys and loved working with them, but I thought the show was over and I felt good about it. But Mark, as the great producer he is, said, listen, we can have a second life and we can resell this into syndication and there could be all sorts of things that could happen off of this. Now, unfortunately, the movie didn't perform like people would hope, even though I'm proud of it and whatever. But, I think it ran its course and it was a good run, but that was, there seemed to be an appetite. Every time Mark was doing movie promotions, people were asking about Entourage, and we have a really great, loyal fan base, but unfortunately it wasn't quite big enough to make it a very successful movie. Again, it wasn't a failure, but it was just kind of,
Dude, how much, when you were in the middle of the show and you had like storylines like Aquaman, that's now a movie, you had Medellin, who freak Narcos is like the biggest thing on Netflix. Were those storylines actually circulating in Hollywood that you just took, or did you just get lucky?
I mean, well, lucky or not, I don't know, because Aquaman made $1 billion and I have nothing to do with it. But I seriously, when we came up with doing Aquaman, I thought it sounded like the stupidest movie to ever be made, and that's why I liked it. And the idea that James Cameron was, in my mind at the time, was the only guy that could turn a really terrible idea into a movie that you go, wow. Now, 20 years later, or 15, whatever it is, CGI technology had changed so much that they were able to make an interesting, successful movie. But at the time, to me, it was almost like a joke. Like, let's come up with the silliest character to make a movie about. And, who knew that a decade later or 12 years later, superhero movies were going to be the only thing that got made.
That make any money now.
So there were a lot of things that I feel like I was very, I saw the future somehow, but there was no design on it whatsoever. I mean, Medellin was a book, which is weird. Medellin is like my name is in it. It's Med Ellen, and my wife is Melissa Dana, so the whole ex-wife. So the whole thing was like weird, but I was reading that book, Killing Pablo, on a vacation, and I said Adrian could play Pablo Escobar. So there was no thought about any of that. But I know that there was a quote, Oliver Stone, I'm blanking on the movie now. He said something like Ari Gold convinced him to do some movie. So we had a lot of stuff. Great Gatsby and
the Ferrari movie.
Yeah, so the Ferrari movie. So we had a lot of stuff, but it's just cool, and I love to see that some of it came to fruition.